You're welcome to Prime News on My Major Prime. Thanks for being a part of today's edition of Prime News. We're live from Douala, the country's economic capital. We're streaming live from Studio A of My Major Prime. My name is Genda Peldrin Blanche King. The Social Democratic Front political party has warned it will not be part of the upcoming regional elections slated for early December. The party's decision to boycott the upcoming regional elections is contained in a press release signed by the chairman of the party, Ni John Frundi. Details with Fonquinta in the following report.
The national chairman of the Social Democratic Front political party, Ni John Frundi, has announced the party will not take part in the upcoming regional elections organized in a bid to decentralize power in the country. The decision of the party comes after President of the Republic, Paul Biya, last week set the stage for imminent holding of regional elections, attributing various regional council seats per division. In a praise statement released earlier this month, Ni John Frundi argues that regional elections under the current socio-political unrest is a step in the wrong direction, as he holds any move by government aimed at forcefully implementing the regional elections will further aggravate an already complicated situation. According to the national chairman, the only means to effectively share power and create a conducive environment is through federalism, as the party holds a federal system will unite Cameroonians and pave the way for development. To this effect, he proposed the holding of an inclusive revision and enhancement of the electoral code, the enactment of a ceasefire in the northwest and southwest region, and lastly for government to commence full exploration of putting in place a federal system of governance, as it would give the people power to take control of their future. To this effect, he proposed the holding of an inclusive revision and enhancement of the electoral code, equally the enactment of a ceasefire in the northwest and southwest region, and lastly for government to commence full exploration of putting in place a federal system of governance, as it would give the people power to take control of their future and equally restore the country back to glory. Reacting to government's COVID-19 response strategy, Chairman Frundi says it would be better for resources and energy be channeled towards one direction of fighting the pandemic. According to the party, they will not participate in the elections being planned under the current dispensation, as it will further deepen the crisis. The decision by the Social Democratic Front Party follows that of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement of Professor Maurice Kamto, who called on government to desist from all attempts at organizing regional elections.
Victims of floods in the Far North region have received aid from the interministerial delegations and high instructions of the head of state, His Excellency President Paul Biya. They were on ground to evaluate the damages caused and set stakes for repairs. Details in the following report with student journalist on internship, Etape Kanten.
Des sacs de riz de différentes marques et poids, les sacs de maïs, de yébé, une pluie de seaux, des matelas à diverses mesures, les cartons de savon, les couvertures, les cartons d'huile Diamayor constituent le don du couple présidentiel aux victimes des inondations à l'extrême nord. Plusieurs arrondissements sont concernés. Il s'agit de Marois 1er, 2e et 3e, Ouaza, Maga, Kaïkaï, Pété, Bogo, Moulvoudaï. Les personnes dédiées ont reçu ce don hier à l'esplanade des services du gouverneur de la région. Elles ont exprimé toute leur joie. La distribution s'est faite en présence de Paul Atangandi, le ministre de l'administration territoriale, et Ketias Koutes, le ministre de l'Habitat et du Développement urbain. Ces dons arrivent au moment où l'extrême nord est menacé par les inondations. Ce matériel va donc les permettre d'assouvir leur situation. Par ailleurs, le don présidentiel était accompagné de ceux du MINEPA et du MINEPIA. Ces derniers étaient constitués des sacs d'engrais, des sacs vides, des boîtes de semences pour une couverture de 250 hectares, les pesticides et les motopompes. Dans la foulée, plusieurs projets ont été évalués pour limiter les inondations dans cette région. Les membres du gouvernement ont appelé les populations à plus de propreté et éviter d'entasser les ordures dans les voies réservées aux eaux de pluie.
Some localities or neighborhoods around Kumba have equally witnessed floods caused by heavy downpour. No human lives lost, but our reporter confirms huge material damages have been recorded. Kumba-based reporter Tamfu Sidwan Dimbia visited victims of floods in Malabo, Kwata and Compound. The following report.
At the beginning of September 2020, continuous rainfall seemingly reached its peak over the weekend, causing severe flooding in Malabo Quarters, Kumba. The famous stream known as Kumba Water overflowed into Malabo Quarters between Toko Street and the Preventive Street, leading to widespread destruction.
You see that sugarcane farm there, everything inside the water. They have planted jams there. Everything has been swept away in bags. There in bags.
This is the famous Seka Baptist School field. According to people living around this area, on Saturday, the 5th of September 2020, the overflowing was grievous as the entire field and classrooms were visited by water. Homes around this area were overflowed as Kumba Water emptied itself into the various houses. The overflowing is, however, caused by human activities and the inability for the councils in Kumba 1 and Kumba 2 to create a good drainage system.
Negligence of the council, because they're supposed to put people to protect them from throwing dirt in the water. But since people have been throwing dirt inside the water here, the place is no more deep. And when rain comes like this, the float will come up right at the house level. Somebody to have buried there right into the stream to where the water is supposed. And it has caused that this water is coming backward instead of flowing.
It is, however, noted with dismay that the councils are aware of the human activities as they probably sign building permits to those who construct beside the river.
The council is aware. Yes, when you go there, now as I'm saying, you'll see it. The plants are there.
According to denizens here, the destruction was enormous as most of them remain homeless.
The empty bottles, empty gallon buckets, there. When you look at behind me here, you see that there's a lot of pumps stem that the water has brought. All this one causes the water not to go.
And they continue to call on the local administration to come to their aid.
Reports from the Ministry of Defense have confirmed the neutralization of a notorious separatist in Bamenda. According to sources, he was killed in the early hours of yesterday, Sunday, September 6, 2020. Lasha Kingsley completes the story in the following reports.
Fonte, alias Mad Dog, was gunned down in the early hours of September 6, 2020, during an operation carried out by the 5th Joint Military Region, according to sources at Cameroon's Defense Ministry. The raid carried out in Bamenda, chief town of the Northwest Region, was conducted by elements of the 3rd Regiment of the Rapid Intervention Battalion, an elite unit of the Defense Force. Other sources claim the dreaded notorious Amber General fell into the dragnet of the military at Ntasen, Nkwen, though his body was found at City Chemist roundabout. CCTV footages which made rounds on social media suggested that Mad Dog had led a gang of unidentified armed men that attacked the head office of Nitanian Cooperative Credit Union at Sonak Street, Bamenda on Friday, August 21, 2020. Leaked audio conversation of a recorded phone call with a voice believed to be that of Mad Dog threatening the manager of the said credit union brought to rest speculations of his involvement in the robbery incident. The news of Mad Dog's death has sparked debates on the social media, with some even suggesting he had been terrorizing denizens of the city of Bamenda long before the Anglophone crisis metamorphosed into an armed conflict in 2017.
We stay in the northwest region of the country. Restriction on the circulation of commercial and private motorbikes in parts of Bamenda has gone into effect. The decision to prohibit the circulation of bikes in some areas was arrived at on September 4 during a crisis meeting with the senior divisional officer for MESAM aimed at reducing crime rates in the areas concerned. Our reporter from the northwest region, Charles Kebwa, with details.
Bamenda City Council Municipal Order number 462 BS/MO/2020 prohibiting the circulation of commercial and private motorbikes within the urban perimeters of the Bamenda City Council has gone into effect this 7 September 2020. The circulation of commercial and private motorbikes, the decision says, shall only ply roads leading to the neighboring quarters and neighborhoods. The decision was arrived at 4th September 2020 after a crisis meeting with Mesam SDO, the City Council Authority, and representatives of the motorbike sector and other sectors, whose resolution prohibits the movement of motorbikes in certain axes of the city.
Travel one way or the other. And if we found out that the particular sector has become a menace to the peace of this, we have no choice but to keep that sector as such. And one way or the other, like as I said, there will be a means of transport. The taxes will come into effect.
Aimed at reducing crime in the concerned part of the town, Bamenda City Mayor Achombong Tembeng Paul assured them they will still do business as the bikers are requested to strictly comply with this order.
And if the bike riders become credible, in short, some of them will have business on phone. People will call them, please come and pick me at home and drop me here. People will call them, please, I want to go here, and they will be available and they will do brisk business. Let the bike riders not despair. They are not out of business. We will not ban the bike rider sector. The sector is still there, but we're just giving them a sort of limitation.
The municipal order enforced by Northwest Governor Adolphe Lafrique says most of the brutal killings have been carried out by perpetrators on motorbikes.
Charles Kibwa ending the report away from the northwest region of the country. The mayor of Fumbat Kenso, Patricia Ndamjoya, has donated gifts to persons living with disabilities in her municipality. This was over or during the weekend, as our student journalist on internship, Noben Naivona, tells us in the following report.
The event took place at the courtyard of the Fumbat Council in the North Division of the West Region, in the presence of top council officials, CDU party militants, and the jubilant crowd present at the scene. The gifts comprise tricycles, cartons of soap, bags of rice, just to name but these.
Nous grandissons, nous nous accomplissons, et après nous recommençons à devenir une partie de nous-mêmes, et après nous redevenons un point. Et le point ne veut pas dire qu'on arrête, le point est toujours un commencement. Et c'est cela que, quand nous sommes arrivés à Chimon, j'ai été inspiré de partager avec vous cette philosophie.
This gesture by the Fumban Council, home of the Cameroon Democratic Union, headed by the Honorable Patricia Ndamjoya, comes to show proof of the party's goodwill to the people living with disability in the municipality.
Et c'est vraiment pour moi l'exemple type de ce que nous sommes venus demander à M. le maire qui s'occupe des populations. Et qu'à chaque fois qu'il reçoit une demande, il puisse accomplir en fonction de ses moyens.
The one-time member of parliament, now mayor of the Fumban Council, called on the beneficiaries to jealously utilize the gifts given them by the council. The ceremony ended up in a festive mood.
Out of the country, some medical personnel in Nigeria are undergoing an indefinite strike to decry working conditions and demand all legal work benefits. The government of South Africa has introduced 3 bills in parliament to stop gender-based violence. Development of these in the following report.
Doctors in state-run hospitals in Nigeria have started an indefinite strike to demand better working conditions, pay rise and adequate facilities. According to the President of National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, the strike action will include medics, treating virus cases in federal and state health institutions. The Association of Resident Doctors in Nigeria hold that until their issues are appropriately addressed, the strike action will not be called off. One of the demands being life insurance and death in service benefits for all health workers. Since the outbreak of COVID-19 in Nigeria, medics have staged strike actions to decry poor working conditions and inadequate protective kits. The Center for Disease Control in Nigeria confirms over 800 health workers in the country have been infected by the virus so far. In South Africa, South African government has introduced 3 bills in parliament to stop gender-based violence. These amendments are follow-up on the president's promise to change laws on domestic abuse. The bills seek to create a new offense around sexual intimidation, allow for names of sex offenders to be publicly available, and tighten the granting of bail to perpetrators of violence against women. According to President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa, the bills will restore the confidence of South African women, knowing the law is there to protect them.
We talk sports. Former captain of Best Stars Academy in Limbe, Leonard, has sealed a 1-year deal with Spanish 3rd Division club Deportivo San Martin, and the 18-year-old will be the 3rd player to leave the academy for greater opportunities in Spain during the current transfer windows. Sportsman Fabrice Kendinga tells us more in the following sports story.
Spanish 3rd Division club Deportivo San Martin have secured the services of teenage Cameroonian midfielder Leonard from Southwest Regional League side Best Stars Academy of Limbe. The product and former captain of Best Stars Football Academy of Limbe joined the club on Thursday, September 3 on a 1-year deal plus an option for an additional year for the interest of both parties and performance. Leonard was presented to the media at the club's headquarters upon completion of his medical and administrative formalities. The 18-year-old native of Bakwit, Mezam Division in the Northwest region, fondly called Liu, moved to the European nation of Spain barely months ago to join the Inter-Soccer group. He has quickly manifested all he learned under Coach Njofak Sachunin in 5 years at Best Stars Academy back in Limbe, earning him a first contract. Known for his versatile play style, ability to disconnect opposition's offensive actions and reconnect with his forwards, Leonard is expected to quickly settle down and do a job for ambitious Deportivo. He is the 3rd Best Stars Academy graduate to switch club this window. Earlier on, Pan-African sports news website Kick442.com reported the transfer of Otia Paul and that of Matthew Vondo to Spanish side UP Negorio. Pundits have already predicted that the potential indomitable Lions youngster is on his way to greatness. Best Stars Academy of Limbe has over the years metamorphosed into one of the leading football academies in Cameroon, offering numerous professional opportunities to young stars. One of the finest players the club can boast to have nurtured is indomitable Lions midfield maestro Pierre Kunde Malone, who recently had a scintillating season with German Bundesliga club Mainz 04. In the meantime, the recent signing of Leonard has ignited a spirit of hard work, courage, dedication and commitment on his peers at the academy.
Thanks, sportsman Fabrice Kendinga. With that sports story, we end today's edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. Thanks for watching. Join us tomorrow, God willing, at 6:30 for another edition of Prime News on My Media Prime. That's how we saw Cameroon, Africa, and the world today. The news was produced by Ewane Elaine Olinga, coordinated by Faith Tata Berenyoy. My name is Genda Peljo Blanche King. Stay with My Media Prime at 7 p.m. Cameroon time. Prime Hour will be live with Kim Leonard and his panelists. You don't want to miss. Enjoy Prime Hour. Good night.